Ellis.
Here.
Cabo.
Present.
Sadi.
Present.
Visconti.
Here.
Palma.
Here.
Wetmore.
Present.
Nero.
Here.
Perkins.
Present.
Shunice.
Present.
Vitello.
Here.
Scazafaza. Teichel.
There being 21 present and 0 absent this evening, the first half hour of each city council meeting reserved for public speaking. Any member of the public may address the city council. You must be a resident and or taxpayer for the city to do that. And you must speak about an item that is specifically on the agenda. So with that, is there any member of the public that wishes to address the city council this evening? Any member of the public? Sir? And if you could just give us your name and address for the record, we'd appreciate it.
Good evening. My name is Arthur Rice, and I reside at 7 Ridge Road. I know on the agenda tonight is a proposal to change the name of Ridge Road to Red Ridge Road. Sorry, to Red Ridge Road. And the reason for that is because so many ridge roads in Danbury that the people on Ridge Road over where we are, over by Costco, is that we don't get our mail, and sometimes it's really hard to, to get even on the emergency vehicles. We had a test last year, and they didn't know where to come to. So for ambulances to safe and everything else, so we really appreciate any consideration you can give on that proposal. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Because we're assuming that that will happen tonight, we really will support you getting your new chairs in your room.
That's good. You don't want to make
They're not red though. They're not red.
They probably have a little bit.
A little bluish, kind of a blue jeans. But thank you for your comments. I think you'll be pleased tonight.
Mike Cunningham, 101 West Reading Road, Danbury. I am the chairman of the Iowa Task Force. I'm speaking to item 13. This parcel was identified as a Jackson Pond connector on the open space bond report of 2008, and it was given a priority of 8, and I think the highest priority was 9. We have completely marked the Ives Trail from end to end. There is still treadway work that needs to be done, and there's some other parking situations that need to be dealt with. But we thought we were done. And I marked up the final section, which is that part behind Jackson Pond. And we found that the realtor who is selling the property there went to the city and said, "What's going on?" And I don't know what's going on. I had always thought this was an old road. I've run there for over 20 years. My wife walked the dog back there. That dog's been gone for at least 10 or 15 years. So I wrote a letter to the owner. I got no response. Mr. Pinter wrote a letter to the owner. I got no response. So we better heads than mine think that the best solution is to just negotiate with the owner to buy the property, talk to her, see what's going on. It is a nice property, there's a good cliff there, there's a beautiful picnic spot, it's right along the back end of the lake. That's easily accessible by pretty much anybody. So I do urge your support for this proposition. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Mike, appreciate it. Any other member of the public wish to address the council this evening?
Chris Sorbucci, West Palm Aviation, out of the airport. We just want to thank the mayor for acting quickly and getting on item 4 of the agenda for the commission members. The business association will appreciate it for your quick action.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay.
I'll see you at Vera's.
Yeah.
See you at Vera's for lunch.
Yes.
Any other address the council this evening? Seeing none, then we'll move on with the agenda this evening. A couple of announcements that I have. I just want to share with you quickly. March 25th is Colleen Stanley's birthday. As you can see, March 9th is a very busy night. There are actually 3 events that I'll be hustling to. Anybody's welcome to join me, but that's the St. Patrick's Day Ball, the Danbury Volunteer Firemen's Ball, as well as the Dawes Making a Difference Ball. March 10th, don't forget to move your clocks forward. We're having a career fair on March 12th. That's at the Ethan Allen from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. for those residents watching at home that are looking perhaps to make a career move or frankly looking for a job. There's also a grand opening of a new cafe that has opened at 93 Mill Plain Road. The morning of the 14th, there's the Chamber's Economic Breakfast that's hosted by the Danbury Chamber of Commerce. March 16th is the Irish flag raising here at the city of Danbury, although the parade is March 24th. Because the bands cost too much to have them on the 16th. So we do everything very efficiently here, right, Sean? Where are you? Right, so we're not going to waste any money. Then there's a whole host of other events that you will see listed out on your event. The Irish Concert Park season kickoff reception is on March the 21st. If you could stop by to that, I'd encourage you to do that. We've got really a great lineup that's coalescing and congealing right now. They've got a new promoter. I can't say we're gonna honor, but I think everybody respects the person that's being honored. And then Eggs and Issues will be at the Ethan Allen on the 27th, which I believe was postponed earlier. These are by no means not all of the events happening in the city, but certainly are the ones that we certainly encourage all of you to attend. Mr. Perkins, I believe, has an announcement related to a fundraiser for the San Diego Elementary School. So just quickly, give the word.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a quick personal privilege. I'm not sure if people are aware, but on Saturday, March 9th, a group of 26 elite cyclists will be leaving Newtown in honor of that massacre that happened over there. They're going to ride from there down to Washington, D.C. over a 4-day trip. It's about a 400-mile journey. Some of us will be tagging along. We're not at that level, so we'll just be going to the New York State border, which is probably going to be about 50 miles anyway. A lot of people, I'm sure, are struggling with this whole thing, just like I am, and I was happy to hear that the mayor will be part of it somewhere along the line. And he always seems to be able to put together, good words in these times of trouble. So we'll hope to hear from him regarding that trip. And if somebody can get out there for a little more support, we'll greatly appreciate it. Thanks.
Well, thank you, Councilman. Just information that I'll be at 11 a.m. In Ridgefield with First Selectman Marconi and State Representative John Fry. They'll be leaving Newtown, stopping in Ridgefield on the way out. Anybody in the council, members of public, welcome to join us to cheer everybody on. We'll certainly, and also Congressman Himes will be with us as well. So appreciate all your hard work on that issue. Mr. Knapp?
Thank you, Ron. I just want to bring to your attention the last month we all had a good laugh here and joke about the Moose Lodge annual dip. I just want to let everybody know they raised $33,000 for local charities, so it was really an amazing event. Myself and Councilman Sadi did take the plunge. Mine for the last time. I think Tom was probably the last time too. But it was a great day, and again, 33,000. There was one individual, Nancy Wildman, who I'm sure somebody, either the newspaper or the patch will pick up on, raised over $16,000 for the oil show. So quite a woman did a great job for our community. So I just want to mention.
And you look great in your Speedo. Yeah, great pictures.
That's a scary thought.
Thank you, Mr. Knapp. Any other discussion? That pretty much concludes the announcements for this evening. We'll move on to the minutes, please. Mr. President.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, I'd like to make a motion that we waive the reading of the minutes as all members have copies, and copies are on file in the legislative assistant's office.
Second.
Motion made and seconded by Mr. Sadi. Any deletions, corrections, or additions to the minutes as presented? Seeing none, then I'll try your minds on acceptance of the minutes. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Majority Leader, may we have the consent calendar, please?
Yes, you may, Your Honor. Consent calendar, March 5th, 2013, reads as follows. Number 2, receive the communication and approve the appointment of Robert Chiocchio as an alternate member of Planning Commission with the term to expire January 1st, 2016. Number 3, receive the communication and approve the appointment of Paul Valeri as a member of the Danbury Museum and Historical Society with the term to expire March 1st, 2016. Number 4, receive the communication and approve the appointment of David Lee and Robert Danbury as members of the Aviation Commission with terms to expire July 1st, 2016. Number 5, receive the communication and approve the renaming of Ridge Road to Red Ridge Road as requested by residents of Ridge Road. It's an awful lot of R's in that. Number 9, receive the communication and adopt a resolution allowing the city of Danbury to accept radio equipment through the state of Connecticut Department of Emergency Management and Homeland Security, DEMHS, grant program. Number 11, receive the communication and adopt a resolution allowing the city of Danbury Health and Human Services Department to submit a request for a proposal to the state of Connecticut Department of Public Health to request funding to expand services at the existing school-based health centers. This funding request is for $562,930, which if awarded will be allocated from the May 1st, 2013 to June 30th, 2016. Number 12, receive the communication and adopt a resolution allowing the City of Danbury Department of Elderly Services to apply for and accept funding from the Peter and Carmen Lucia Buck Foundation. This funding request not to exceed $35,000 will allow the director to expand services to the city's elderly clients through additional staffing and materials equipment purchases. Number 14, receive the communication and approve the time extension on the request for sanitary sewer and water main approval of 12 Proper Bridge Road. Number 15, receive the report of Corporation Council and approve the conveyance of land for widening of Hospital Avenue as requested by Danbury Hospital expansion project, together with sidewalk easements and conveyances of sewer main extension. This project has been, as requested by the City Council, received a positive recommendation from the Planning Commission excuse me, dated December 5th, 2012, and a variance that was granted by the ZBA dated December 13th, 2012. And finally, number 16, receive the report of the ad hoc committee and approve the committee's request to accept the audit report dated June 30th, 2012, and that serves the consent calendar.
Thank you, Mr. Majority Leader. What's your pleasure, council? Mr. Knapp.
Thank you, Your Honor. Make a motion to accept the consent calendar as presented.
Motion made and seconded by Mr. Shinisi. Is there any discussion related to the consent calendar? Sorry, Mr. Perkins, he was louder than me. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll try your minds on acceptance of the consent calendar. Please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed signify by saying nay. Ayes have it, motion carries unanimously. Red Ridge residents, go in peace. Your work is done here. Unless you want to stay, you're welcome to stay. Madam Clerk, item 1, please.
Communication solar energy.
What's your pleasure, council? Mr. Negrishan.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to refer this to an ad hoc with the Director of Public Works, representative from the Mayor's Office, Corporation Council, and the Director of Finance.
Ad hoc committee shall be the following: Mr. Wetmore in the chair, Councilman Taylor, and Councilman Shanisi. Items 2 through 5 are consent. Madam Clerk, item 6, please.
Item 6 is Communications Still River Alliance. Dear Mayor Fountain and members of the City Council, the Still River Alliance was established by the Danbury Health Department in 1996 to guide the planning, design, and construction of the Still River Greenway. The Still River Greenway was completed in 2010. After a 4-year period of dormancy, the SRA was reorganized in 2010 with a new mission of maintaining the Greenway and promoting it to the Danbury community. Our new mission will be achieved through events and programs involving passive recreation, nature appreciation, and environmental education. This new mission will actively promote SRA by sponsoring events and community outreach, which will be aided by financial donations that have been received by the Health Department. The level of activity that will be sponsored by the SRA raises the question of personal liability of SRA members. Recently, Mr. Ed Surgic, the current chairman of the SRA, and Jack Wojciechowski, the city greenways consultant, met with the Deputy Corporation Counsel, Les Pinter, to discuss the liability issue. Mr. Pinter recommended a city department associated with the SRA request formal recognition of the organization of the City Council. As one of the city representatives on the SRA, I respectfully request that the City of Danbury recognize the Still River Alliance as a city-based organization with representation from the City Recreation and Health and Human Services Department. Please contact me if you have any questions regarding this request. Respectfully yours, Nikki Kaplanis, Director of Recreation.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. What's your pleasure, council? Mrs. Teichholz.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to receive the communication and adopt the resolution to recognize the Danbury Still River Alliance as a city-based entity performing essential functions related to nature, conservancy, and community outreach in a variety of capacities on behalf of city departments and citizens.
Motion made and seconded by Mr. Perkins. Is there any discussion relating to this item? Mr. Siding.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think it's important we protect volunteers like these and others in our city who are on personal liability when they're discharging a public duty, and they're doing it consistent with that public duty. And I'm going to support this because I don't think that they should be out there subject to personal liability, and they should have the encouragement of yourself, Your Honor, bringing this forward, and Mr. Kaplanis and the city in discharging those duties. I would just ask going forward, if Your Honor would consider, or the council, potentially establishing an ad hoc in a long-term basis to establish this as a board, commission, or authority potentially, or to consider that so it's consistent with some of the other boards and commissions, the appointment process, entities review, unless there's a reason to have it segregated. I don't think it should be stopped now from being granted this type of recognition, but to think about making it more formally established as a board or commission in the future.
Okay, I don't think there'd be any objection to that. We certainly have a basis for doing that for a variety of different boards that are servicing. So we can consider that for the next meeting. Further discussion. Seeing none then, I'll try your minds. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries unanimously. Item 7, please, Madam Clerk.
Item 7 is communication, conveyance of future installation of traffic light devices, Sugar Hollow Road Associates, Sugar Hollow, and Bacchus Avenue.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. What's your pleasure, council? Mrs. Stanley?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to receive the communication and refer this to City Engineering, Corporation Counsel, and Planning Director for reports.
Seeing no objection, is so ordered. Madam Clerk, item 8, please.
Resolution, memorandum of understanding with the FCI Danbury. To Mayor Mark Bowden, members of the City Council, from Ellen D. Baker, Chief of Police. On a limited number of occasions, members of the Danbury Police Department use the outdoor firearms range on the grounds of the Federal Correction Institution of Danbury, which is the FCI, for firearms training. The Danbury Police Department desires to continue using the FCI range, and the FCI has asked us to sign an updated memorandum of understanding covering terms of usage for their range. Please review the proposed memorandum of understanding and grant approval to execute it on behalf of the City of Danbury.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. What's your pleasure, council? Mr. Cabo?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion that we receive the communication and authorize the police chief or his designee to enter into the MOU with the Danbury FCI for the limited purposes of using the firing range on the FCI property.
Second.
Made and seconded by... The motion has been made and seconded by Councilman Negrishet. Other discussion or any discussion related to this motion? Mr. Visconti.
Thank you, Madam. To the chair, to the chief, one quick question. Are you using the range in the new police department also?
Yes. They use the outdoor range for our SWAT team for rifle training. Allows us greater distances to shoot heavier weapons than in the inside range. But yes, the inside range is used every day.
Thank you, Mr. Perkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. Through you, Mr. Mayor. This, it's just access. It's not necessarily a lease or anything that we have to pay to use the facilities. It's just access.
Yeah, we've had an informal arrangement with the FCI for probably 30 or 40 years. And we just sort of said, hey, we want to come up and use a range. This formalizes that a little bit, but it's not a lease or anything like that.
Thank you.
And it protects them as well. Any other discussion? Seeing none, then I'll try your minds. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries unanimously. Item 9 was on consent. Madam Clerk, item 10, please.
Item 10 is a resolution, FAA grant for the master plan. To Mark Bowden and council. From David St. Hilaire, Director of Finance. Attached for your review is a resolution that will allow the City of Danbury to apply for and accept funds from the Federal Aviation Administration and the State of Connecticut. The city will apply for $500,000 to conduct an airport master plan update. The FAA will fund 90%, which is $450,000, with the state funding 7.5%, which is $37,500. The city portion of the final 2.5%, which is $12,500, will be matched through in-kind services of the airport administration. The City Council respectfully requested to consider this resolution at its next meeting.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. What's your pleasure, council? Councilman Knapp.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to receive the communication and adopt a resolution that will allow the City of Danbury to apply for and accept funds from the FAA and the State of Connecticut totaling $500,000 to conduct an airport master plan update. The FAA will fund 90%, the state 7.5%, and the city remaining portion of 2.5% or $12,500 is to be matched through in-kind services of the airport administration.
Second.
Motion made, second by Councilman Negrishet. There was a mouthful there, Councilman, but any discussion about that, if you can figure out what that motion did? Yes, Mr. Rotella.
Thanks, Your Honor. I had the pleasure of reading the task force report over the weekend. And I'd like to thank the task force for putting this together and doing that work. It's complete and there's a lot of detail in here, especially under James Porter as the chairman. As a lifelong resident of Danbury, I remember very well in the 60s and 70s how much traffic the airport had back then. I'm guessing Director Esteban could probably back this up. traffic is probably 2 to 3 times higher in the 70s than it is today. And I just have to assume, I mean, I don't know what business at the airport has much to do with that, except for shuffling the occasional lease through, which generally involves non-airport business. But I have to assume that with the increased traffic in the 70s, there was probably increased business back then. Again, following that assumption, I have to assume the business is probably down in the last 25 or 30 years. So, clearly the airport needs to be taken a look at. But one caveat along with this, as a representative of the 6th Ward, where the airport is actually located, is that with the increase in traffic, air traffic, there's also going to be an increase in noise, safety issues, and general disruptions to the people living in the immediate vicinity of the airport. And I would just hope and request that when this plan goes through and we get this grant money, that we include input from the adjacent residents and stakeholders in the airport vicinity who may not actually have business at the airport, but yet are still stakeholder in that. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Rotella, further discussion related to this one. Mr. Shinisi.
Thank you, Your Honor. I don't see David saying hilarious, but maybe you can answer this question or Paul Estefan. Is the grant a competitive grant, or this is something that we might be awarded once we apply for?
Mr. St. Hilaire is out sick tonight. No disrespect to really members. Mr. Estefan.
This is not a competitive grant. This is, we're eligible for a certain amount of dollars every year from the FAA. So over time, we've accumulated enough dollars, I hope, given the current situation in Washington, to fund this project. We don't go up against any other airport at this point. We just go on for this particular grant, like I would any other grant.
Follow-up real quick, Your Honor. Assuming that the grant is delayed and does hinder do the update, or would you do this on your own for some parts of it?
I wouldn't do this up on my own. There's just too much work involved.
It's a very technical document. It's required by the Administrative Council. Mr. Visconti.
Thank you, Your Honor. Through the chair to Mr. Estefan.
Sure.
Paul, the proposal to accept this grant, I know that there was was it 1992 or 96, the last master plan was done?
The last master plan was done in 1992. What we've done is pretty much expended all of the projects that are in there that we can get funding for. And it's been over 20 years, so it's time to do a new update to see where we're going to be going in the future, so that the city has some plan to seek funds and do projects.
Follow.
Sure.
What, if any, problems do you see, although it may not be related to this, but with the supposed closure of the tower in regards to the new plan coming up? Will that have any effect on that?
Yeah, we lived through the last one in the 80s, when we were having a master plan update done at the same time. It really didn't affect it. I mean, traffic is one thing, forecasting is another, and projects are another. So it's more of a capital review of the airport, what we have to do and where we have to go, as well as a financial package I'm trying to get in there to get a good idea, a good handle on our leases and our financial picture so that the airport can move towards a self-sustaining position in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sadi.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, through you, Your Honor, to the airport administrator, just segueing off of Councilman Rotello's comments regarding public participation in the document on task 3 in public participation specifically, technical participation from a technical advisory committee, but also talks about general public input at least 2 public meetings. I'm not familiar with how this process works and was wondering if you are aware, I'm sure you're off on the path from your history in Long District Airport, if someone is not able to make it to a public hearing, can they, just as oftentimes with DOT hearings, or we had recently the Army Reserve hearings, can they submit written comments to a point of contact, either with the third-party company doing the analysis or the FAA?
As technology has moved over the last 30 or 40 years, I'm sure that emails are appropriate and will be directed to the consultant if we go forward with this project.
And just to make sure I could, like, producing a master plan, it's not required or mandated by federal statute every certain number of years, but it's more, as you said, a plan that allows you to present a basis for requesting future grants, for operating the airport in certain ways and taking steps in the future, whether it be with regard to leases or flights in and out, scaling back or expanding, that you need a master plan, at least a recent one, in order to use sort of the organic material for those things. Is that correct?
Well, this one's going to be a little different. If you look at the document in there that's attached, you'll see we're going after financials. I want to make sure that, one, we're in the right ballpark with what we charge for leases, what we charge for permit fees, what we charge on the airport. And if we're not, then we should go back and figure out why and how we make those adjustments. Getting it from the outside vendor is probably the best way to go because they're impartial, they're neutral, and they have assets that I don't have, which is information.
Thank you, it's very helpful. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, Sonny. Any other discussion related to this grant? Seeing none, then I'll try your minds. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, signify by saying nay. Ayes have it, motion carries unanimously. Items 11 and 12 are on consent. Madam Clerk, item 13, please. Mr. Knapp.
Item 13 is a resolution. It's open space of the Ice Trail acquisition, Jackson Pond property. Dear Mayor of the Council, the attached resolution proposes to acquire a final piece of trail property on the southwesterly end of the trail in the area of Stars Plain Road. This office has previously contacted the owners of the subject property to advise them of this intention. The attached property information may assist you in the depiction of the location and area necessary for this concluding act in the development of the ice trail. Should you decide to authorize the acquisition process, please adopt the resolution as indicated. Feel free to contact us should you have any questions or concerns. Very truly yours, Laszlo Plinter, Deputy Corporation Counsel.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Cobb.
Your Honor, due to the financial nature and the potential sensitivity and protecting the city's interest in this, I'd like to make a motion that we move this item to the end of the agenda and would we go into executive session in order to take up any action on the same.
Second.
Okay, motion is made and seconded, so this will be the end of the agenda, and we'll go back and pick this up and complete the rest of the items that are on the agenda. So item 14, 15, 16 are consent. Madam Clerk, item 17.
Item 17 is an ad hoc report, the CACD progress report.
What's your pleasure, Council? Mr. Seabury.
Mr. Mayor, I move to waive the reading of the report, please.
Second. Motion made and seconded to waive. Well, if you want to withdraw your second there, Mr. Seabury's made a motion to waive the reading of the report. Are there any objections to that? Seeing none, we don't necessarily have to have a vote to there's no objection. So, the reading of the report has been waived. At this time, let's have a motion on the report. Mr. Seabury.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to receive the communication from the committee and adopt recommendations and motions within.
Motion's been made and seconded by Councilman Negrisha, made by Councilman Seabury. Is there any discussion related to this particular item on the agenda? This is a work in progress, so I understand why we want to let the progress go forward. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, signify by saying nay. I believe we'll be back on the agenda probably next month with this, with some more information for you. So just want to let you know where we are. Madam Clerk, we have department reports? Department reports, Mr. President.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we waive the reading of the department report, as all members have copies. The copies are on file in the legislative assistant's office.
Motion made, seconded by Mr. Perkins. Questions, comments under department reports? Mr. Knapp.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Ida-Rolla. I have a question.
It's not about potholes, is it?
It's exactly what it's about. There's 21 of us up here getting bombarded with questions on potholes. Could you give us a pothole update?
How did I know? A very close friend of mine said there's two sure things in life, and that is potholes and taxes. Well, I think we got both, but anyway, we have been aggressively actually trying out some new equipment, and we've been filling potholes. I've had up to 12 staff members out there and every piece of small equipment, pickup trucks out there filling them. As soon as we've been putting them in, they've been coming out. So there's some locations you actually will see a pretty large buildup of material on the curb line. We actually have to get some heavy equipment out to scrape it out because it was clogging the gutter line. So two things. We have just demoed a new machine. The state actually had it up on the highway. It looks really promising, and I spoke to the mayor about it. I mean, he's been, I think, twice a day calling me about potholes. So we are interested in this machine because it actually allows us to be able to put a hot emulsion and stone with the ability to actually blow out the hole and any contaminants that are in the hole. So it's about as good as a prep job as you can do. You gotta remember, we can't spend a lot of time on these potholes. We have to try to just get as many filled as we can. This machine really allows us to do that. So we are taking a look at that. We're looking at some maintenance records. I don't want to buy something that spends more time in the shop getting maintained than it is out filling potholes. The other thing that we're doing is we do have a hot box. We've been using it. Unfortunately, it only makes about a ton to a ton and a half. We spread that out in a matter of a couple hours. So what we're actually trying to do is pull some hot asphalt from New York State. There's a plant on 311 in Patterson, and we're going to be doing that all this week coming up. So we can continuously run hot loads back and forth. So we're doing as much as we can. I hate to see my roads, your roads look the way they do. Unfortunately, that heavy rain that came a week ago really did a job on our roads. And if you're looking at the forecast, the next couple of days, we're talking 3 days of heavy rain, a mix, snow, and things like that. So that's all I can basically tell you. It's an ongoing effort, and we keep battling with every winter.
You having fun?
We're having fun.
Mr. Knapp.
Just a couple also. Congratulations to the department on a great job during the last big storm where we had to loan our people out to Waterbury to help them through their crisis. We did a really great job here staying ahead of that storm. You forecasted yourselves and your labor force fabulously. So thank you for that during the last storm.
Thank you. My middle management, I just have to tell you this, middle management and all the men and women who are out there plowing, I got the best public works department in the entire state. I just got to tell you that. They are phenomenal. Dedicated, professional. In a storm like that, you have to follow, management calls and things like that, and they do. So they're phenomenal, and I love working with them. So, thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion on the department reports. Mr. Nero.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just want to make a comment along with Mr. Ayatollah. just spoke about. For about 2 weeks, I think my wife thought I was the mayor, because every road that we went on, she would say to me, "Is this in your ward? Is this in your ward?" And I say, "Honey, I can't, it's not in my ward." But I would put in my concerns through 311, and they were really acted on. I would find that the roads that I would bring up, I would travel over sometime later, and those holes were filled in. So I want to thank you for trying to respond to that, Mr. Iadro. I really appreciate that. I know my constituents definitely do, and I just want to make it. Thank you.
That's actually a very good point, Mr. Nero. For the folks watching at home, and for council members, you all know how to access 311. If you could do that instead of just calling individual departments directly, because what happens is that there's a queue that's created by the software system we use, and everything is tabbed, and we have an order in which they come in. So what happens is if you take and say, well, I want these guys to run out to Davis Street, then you're jumping the line, and we're trying to track where we're using the most material, where we're finding the most potholes, because then those become candidates for drainage work this summer. So, and also it's helping us track all the cold patch we're using, so we get a sense of how much to order, when to order it, how much we need. So if at all possible, please use the 311 system. If Jeff is not responsive, don't be afraid to call me, and then you can call Antonio. But at least get your concern queued into the system, so we get a service request number in there, and we can follow them in order. Because it just makes our job a little bit easier. So if you can just do that, and we look at those reports monthly. I get those on my desk about all the 311 calls, and I look at all the service numbers that are in there and any outstanding issues, and then Antonio and I huddle and we say, okay, why didn't this get done? And a lot of times it'll be we don't have the equipment in, or we're waiting for a part, or for the equipment that'll do the fix for us. But at least we're tracking those with open service order numbers. So just wanted to reiterate that. Mr. Taylor.
Thank you, Aaron. I'd just like to echo Mr. Neps and Mr. Nero's comments. I think anybody who lives in New England realizes that potholes and mud are part of our spring season. Also, I saw at a couple locations today, I saw the litter crew out, and I appreciate that, getting our roads cleaned up in advance to the summer season. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I do want to give a shout out to Rich Antos, who's not here tonight, but he took 7 or 8 folks that are utilizing some of our city services, most notably our shelter, and they went out and they did litter control tonight, and they did a phenomenal job, particularly on Spring Street, Maple Avenue. There's some nice mattresses for Antonio to pick up, as well as bags of grocery, of garbage and tires and things like that. So that was really a very creative way, I think, to put people to work that frankly may not have anything to do today, and I just want to give a shout out. And Sean Stillman, you were there too. Phenomenal job, Sean. Both you guys, I just want to give you a shout out for all your hard work. You took pictures too. You made sure I saw that, didn't you? You know it's budget season when you do that. Really great job.
Very dedicated workers,
Good job.
we are, and the majority of them volunteering their time. So we appreciate that, and get a good sense of working within the community.
Yeah, really well done. Thank you. Further discussion on the department report. Seeing none, then I'll try your minds to accept the reports. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We're going to, we do have an add-on. Let's do the add-on as well. Make a motion. Mr. Cowell.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to add on number 19 to this agenda with regards to a resolution concerning the airport tower.
Second. Motion made and seconded by Mr. Rotella. All those in favor of adding this as item 19, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay. Madam Clerk, item 19, can you just read the cover letter?
Yep. It's a resolution. Honorable members of the City Council, dear council members, attached, please find a resolution concerning the recent federal sequestration of funds. We are concerned about the impact it may have on the operations at the Danbury Airport, and I respectfully request that you adopt this resolution.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Collins.
Your Honor, I'd like to make a motion that we receive the communication and adopt the resolution. And I'm going to just read the resolve part for the motion. That the City of Danbury, the City Council of Danbury, Connecticut, and its Mayor Mark E. Belton do hereby resolve and state that it is the highest and best interest of the City of Danbury, Connecticut, and that Danbury Municipal Airport be spared cuts by the sequestration of federal dollars in such manner and may continue safe, efficient, and federally authorized flight and business activity at DXR through the continued and vital operations and use of its traffic control tower and as required pursuant to the state standard federal operational and safety needs and mandates.
Motion made and seconded, and just to give you a quick overview, we just want to get something on the record that we don't think it's a good idea to take people out of the tower at the airport, which is going to happen at the end of the month. We just got a letter today, right, Paul? So we're trying to make a statement that I'll forward off to all of our federal legislators that this is not a good idea. The planes need the guy in the tower to get them. Okay, any other discussion or questions about this item? Well, okay, well, that's all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Folks, at this time, we're going to go on executive session. You're welcome to hang out outside and come back in once we're done. It should take about 10 minutes.